It's Mark Pires.
I was walking down the
And
road today,
it's Renaissance Man.
another way.
And I'm here
My mind and help
to
my
ease
living.
my mind and help my living. It's Renaissance
How
Man.
the open road affects
It's
us all.
daily variety show Mark Pires Renaissance Man. I'm here to connect with you, to amplify your current state. And I'm here with you on day 1324 in a row of the Renaissance Man show. So smash that screen, give us a like, give us a share, and make sure you subscribe. This is the longest running daily variety show on planet Earth. So spread the friggin' love, right? We have 3 or 4 stories for you tonight, guys. This is the comedy news, Renaissance Man style. I've been dropping things for the last couple months for you every single day on TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. And we have 3 or 4 good stories for you. Liz Cheney lost her seat. What's that, Joanne? No, Joanne, you can't fill it. You couldn't even freaking get in the room, you know? But Liz Cheney lost her seat. And of course, Sleep Sofa Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act. $739 billion. Apparently, when you spend $739 billion more, you're able to reduce the inflation that you created by spending ridiculous amounts of billions on Ukraine, etc. Anyway, so guys, we're going to get into that news, and I got a couple others for you. So we'll do that in a second as soon as we get through this song. But how's everybody doing tonight? I want to say hi to everybody. User, how you doing? If you're there on TikTok, say hello. Smash that screen. Give me a follow if you haven't yet. Longest running show on planet Earth, guys. I'm not saying it, it's true. 1,324 days in a row. That's freaking 3 Christmases, Easters, my birthday, 4 of my birthdays. And we're about to catch up to the 4-year anniversary of the show and going into year 5. It's pretty sick. But that's every day. And I have 3 kids. I have a wife. I'm not doing this like I have nothing else going on in my life. I'm a real estate agent by day. Realtor by day, Renaissance Man by night for 3 years plus. And I'll keep showing up every day for you guys. All you got to do is freaking join me. Spread the word. Let people know I'm here. And there's 183 songs like this one on iTunes. So if you like this song, it's called Something to Live For.
Oh, there's something to die for, something to live for. I need
Guys, this song gets fire in a minute here. You ready?
something to die for. Oh, won't you
Break it down, Zabrowski.
give me more? Hey, so many perfect ways to spend your days. It hit me. Oh, wow, there's something to live for. There's something to die for.
I'm ready to get into this, guys. Zabrowski, you ready to give us a woohoo?
Live for.
Zabrowski, drink your yoo-hoo. Your woohoo's coming up.
Die for, yeah. There's something to live for.
Matt Zabrowski, could we get a woohoo from you, please? A good one. Grammy. Woohoo! 6.9, Zabrowski. No, couldn't be any higher. I'm sorry. It was decent tonight. How's everybody doing out there on TikTok? Tim Beers, my brother. Chris Donaldson, Jeffrey Flissick. Mental Grace, which is really Jacqueline. She did a little switcheroo to come around the backside. 1-2 Magoo in it. And Tim, I said, Trish Killian, Virgo Psych in the house with me. Kill it and grill it's here. And over here on TikTok, I want to say hi if you're here. So please say hello. User 668, Ember, Crafty Beer Mark, Bokinon. How you doing? And Angela Robinson. Wow, you come down. Angela Robinson with KB Thai. Good times, of course. When you're down. Renaissance Man, 1,324 days in a row. Oh. Guys, when Christopher Walken shows up at the top of the show, you're in for a friggin' night, right? What's that, Joanne? No, Joanne, I'm ready to do the news when you're ready to do the news, you know? So maybe we should throw a little mood music in the background. I wrote this one like 2 years ago. I never did anything with it lyrically, but how cool is this? Listen. Wait, while I put the news in. I'm going to put the news on. Oh, we got a few stories to tell tonight. Let's get into it. Yeah, this is the live improv show.
that's how you know. Gonna go every night till the sun burns out. Yeah, here we go. Joanne, can you turn up the heat? You got the window capture now. Here we go, open it up. Let's get into this story and share the vibes of the world. Yeah.
Oh, I think we got it, Joanne. No, Joanne, stop your wheezing. It's super loud tonight. All right, we're good, Joanne. Joanne, where am I? Now I'm not on the screen anymore, Joanne. Oh, thank you, Joanne. I wasn't on the screen, and then now I'm on the screen. Did your job, finally. You know. So, guys, you need to know, Joanne. She's not real. Anyway, here we go. First story of the day. Liz Cheney loses her seat in Wyoming and Trump's biggest primary victory as he tries to purge the Republican Party of his critics. Look at her. Go back to your freaking home in Wyoming. You know what I mean? You're there doing it. You nothing but criticism, right? Go freaking criticize it for the TV. I don't like it. You could do yelling at the TV like I do. I'm yelling at it, you know? And then nobody gives a crap. That's what we're going to do with you, Liz Cheney. You lost. You're out. Go freaking pound sand. You know what I mean? You're there in Wyoming. You pounding sand. You know, it's funny. When I used to hear pound sand as a kid, I used to think of some dude like banging sand. You know what I mean? Like he just is doing it. You know, you're like, what is that? What they do in the freaking Sahara Desert? Just banging it out? I don't know. It's just weird. But, you know, then my wife one day, she goes, no, it's like imagine someone just literally punching sand, like pounding sand. Go pound sand. I was like, that's funny too. That's funny too. I think mine was funnier though. Literally some dude's just like, he can't pick up a chick, you know, so he's just dealing with the friction deal situation. He's pounding sand, you know? So sometimes when I say that this dude should go pound sand, it's because she should. You know. Anyway, let's get into it here, Joanne. Republican Liz Cheney's primary loss in Wyoming is Trumper's biggest midterm victory yet. What's that, Joanne? Oh, Joanne said she'd really appreciate it if I did this as Trump instead of like pretending like I'm some newscaster, and maybe just do it as Trumper and he's the newscaster. Not a bad idea, Joanne. Trump, I endorsed the challenger, Harriet Hagman. She was freaking a Hagman, you know. I said, look, if you defeat Cheney on Tuesday, you're going to win big league. Cheney joins 3 other House Republicans who voted to impeach me. Are you kidding me? They lost their freaking primaries because I'm the Trumper. I'm winning big league. Winning big league. Former President Donald J. Trump strengthened his grip over the Republican Party on Tuesday evening with Republican Liz Cheney's primary loss in Wyoming. Harriet Hagman, a Trump-endorsed lawyer, defeated Cheney according to projections by Decision Desk HQ and Insider. Cheney, who held Wyoming's sole congressional seat for 5 years, has been Trump's main target in his revenge plot to purge the Republican Party of members he deems disloyal to the Trumper. Winning big league unless we have freaking Liz Cheney in there, right? What are we talking? She was the highest-ranking Republican to vote to impeach him over the January 6th, 2021 fake Capitol riot deal, and she's been one of his loudest critics since, you know. As vice chair on the House committee investigating the Capitol attack, the one where the police officers literally opened up the gates and said, come on in. Like, that was good video. They didn't play in court, I'm sure. But I digress. And I love the video right before where he's like, look, I know you're going to have your voices be peacefully heard when you go down to the friggin' Capitol. And you're going to let your voices be heard peacefully. You're going to peacefully let it be heard. What a friggin' insurrection that is. Holy freaking insurrection. He said peacefully go and protest. Oh my goodness. I've heard freaking Bernie Sanders. Look, we're going to go down there. We're going to fight like hell. Bernie Sanders. I'm going to go down and fight like hell. You heard Bernie Sanders doing a fight like hell deal. I got to unplug this, I think, because it's freaking slow as can be. Why are you slowing it down on me, you stupid freaking TikTok deal? Is it better? No, it's still slow. Like, I mean, sometimes you have to shut your phone off and then you won't have a slowdown, like, you know, but I'm still dealing with a little bit of it. It's actually a little better since I unplugged the charger. With that in mind, I should plug in the actual audio then, give you guys some good freaking audio. Yeah, and if I'm going to disconnect the wire that gives us power, so eventually we get that 20% warning, when we might as well give you the best freaking audio possible. Hold on a second, TikTok fam. This is you. This is me. We're doing it. Can you freaking hear me? What are we doing on my holiday? Steel City in the house and Pissed Off Marine. Hold on a second. He says you need to read the Lincoln Project's response. It's hilarious. Pissed Off Marine. Let me pull that up. You freaking rock. I'm so glad we have Pissed Off Marine as a family member. Guys, you got to get over to YouTube as well. Join the family over there. We've got Chris Donaldson, Jeffrey Flissick, Kill It and Grill It, Jacqueline Gray, Stacy Michaels. Hold on. Tim Beers, Trish Killian, Virgo Psych, and the party's just getting started. Guys, smash the screen. Remember, sharing is caring. And when we start to get to 150, 1,500, 15,000 people here live on a daily, that's when the magic starts to take place. We're here to change this world, but not the world, only our world. We can't affect the 7.7 billion, but we could create our own environment of peace and our own environment of live moments. And from there, the rest of it is just freaking whatever you bring to the table and whoever you bring to the table, so share. So let's keep this party going here. Cheney, who held the Wyoming's sole congressional seat for 5 years, was Trump's main target. Joanne, I freaking read that apart. She's just giving me the same thing to read again. Cheney had faced an uphill battle to hold on to her seat amid Trump's campaign to oust her from office and led to a lack of widespread support for Republicans in Wyoming and those in Congress. Polls found Hagman with a double-digit lead over Cheney ahead of the race. Sounds like that might have been a little closer than Biden's double-digit lead over Trumper. 81 million. Huh? Well, I was in my basement. Yeah, we freaking know. You're in your basement. That was awesome when you did that. And you called your wife Joe. I got it all. Guys, don't realize this and this. When we hit 15,000 and when we hit 50,000, when we get to a point where I could go like this, you know what I mean? Then we're putting out the Donald Trump movie, which is 4 hours of the most ridiculous truth you'll ever see in your life. I was suppressed for it in 2019 and 20. I'm just not going to play it now like I used to do because they'll just keep dropping freaking hammers on this show, and I don't want that anymore. We're going to blow through their freaking censorship. Their algorithm is going to freaking explode in our direction. They're going to start just without, they're going to be like, why are people going to see the positivity platform? I'll tell you why. Because the light cannot be stopped, and eventually it starts to grow. And the people that do feel something positive will go out there and tell others that there's something that they can connect to on a daily basis. All they have to do is show up. It's free. It's free. The energy, the love, it's free. Today I met with my manager and she said, man, you got a lot of energy. I said, you know, when you love what you do, when you love living in the moment and creating something special in the second that you're in, then energy's plentiful. You can never run out. And that's why I really love doing this show with you guys, because I'm forced to take something that doesn't exist and make something out of it every second we're here. And I freaking love it. So let's see what we have here. A member of the political dynasty is the daughter of, she was the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney. I didn't even freaking know that because I haven't watched the news in 3 freaking years. I don't watch TV because it blows. I call it the negatube. There's nothing positive. It's all negative. So it's the negatube and it will stay off as far as I'll put the Yankees on, or I'll put like, football for, a few minutes, but I have no interest in watching TV, and you shouldn't either. Like, find something positive, something that can lift your soul up to new levels. That's what I hope to do here, and I hope you could find other things in your life that do that. Cheney allies believe she still has a future in politics representing the anti-Trump voice. Oh, great. We get to see her stupid face pop. Oh, look at me. We should just plaster that image right there. Maybe you shouldn't have freaking, stuck your knife in the back of your president. You know what I mean? And what's going on? Do you support the guy that's there now? Cheney? God almighty, So next story on the list, Joanne, what do we got? Biden signs a $739 billion Inflation Reduction Act into law. Slams GOP for voting against the tax climate deal. Biden criticized Republicans for voting against the massive social spending tax and climate change bill. Let's see what's here. This is the great part about this guy. He was like, I'm going to bring everybody together. And then all he's done is divide with his rhetoric, his tone, and all he does is point fingers at the former president. And he's like, oh, look, I didn't have to go to the hospital. I got friggin' beady eyes now. My Aunt Judy took care of me down in my basement. Trump had to go to friggin' Walter Reed. huh? And he's just like, everything's about dividing. It's just hilarious. Let's see how much he divides in this, Inflation Reduction law that he put into. He doesn't even know what he's reading on the freaking teleprompter. You guys know that, right? He's pulling like what I'm doing here. He's just basically reading off the screen. Doesn't even know what he's saying. Doesn't even know what he's doing. Let's see. Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act on Tuesday, saying the American people won and the special interests lost, with the new legislation touting Democratic support while slamming Republicans for not backing the bill. The president returned to White House after a long week vacation in Kauai Island, South Carolina. Biden was joined by House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer during an event in the state dining room at the White House. With this law, is this Biden? With this law, my American people won. The special interest lost, Biden said on Tuesday. The administration began amid a dark time in America. A once-in-a-century pandemic, devastating joblessness, clear and present threats to democracy, and the rule of law, doubts about America's future itself, and yet we've not wavered, we've not flinched, and we've not given in. Then he took a nap. Biden said instead the law will deliver results for the American people. Let's see what he has to say here. We didn't tear down. We built up. We didn't look back. We looked forward, Biden said. And today it offers further proof that the soul of America is vibrant and the future of America is bright and the promise of America is real. And Joe, and that's just the beginning, I said to my Aunt Judy. The bill, which passed by a Senate earlier in the month and the House Representatives last week, cost an estimated $437 billion. With $369 billion going toward investments in energy security and climate change. Oh, that's great. You could really make a difference in climate change. Let's get some more wind power. Did you guys see how they make electric batteries? Does anybody want to talk about that? They've got freaking slavery and little kids that are 6 years old digging to get cobalt. So these people could build batteries so we could go green. It's a bunch of freaking horse crap. And if you haven't seen that, it's scary. It's sickening. I put a video up of it on TikTok to crickets. They showed it to like 4 people. I realized in that moment, this is a suppressed piece of content. You can't put this out there. They won't let you see a 6-year-old getting beaten and whipped in the middle of some freaking pit digging for cobalt for 15 hours a day to make $2. Oh, but Elon Musk needs more batteries. We gotta go green. Gotta go green. How's that any better than gas and oil? There's no way except for solar. And even that, battery still needs to be created out of cobalt, right? I don't know. Guys, I think that this is all messed up. Everything is a freaking head fake. You guys heard about the news story I put out earlier today. It's actually, let's just get into it right now because let me see if it's here. I think I may have already covered it up. Let's see. It was, right here. Rainwater no longer safe. Let's just read this because, guys, I did a story about this, but this is a few comments. This is what I love about the family on TikTok and even family on YouTube, although I don't get as many comments on YouTube as I do on TikTok. So for whatever reason that is, I really am pumped that the people on TikTok have a voice they've really felt that they could share on the Renaissance Man / Mr. Live Creation page. And here's the reality. Let me just pause this. I put these stories out there and I need feedback because, as I told you, I don't watch the news. I don't watch TV. I find what I find on my phone and I do a news story based on what I read. Sometimes I know it's a freaking fake news story and that's why I'm making it a comedy. And I hope you guys know that. The serious stuff has got a serious tone. The stuff that I know is real has a serious tone. The stuff that's like clearly fake news. Like, for example, I'll show you what I dropped earlier today while we're sitting here on the phone. Yeah, I call it the phone. I thought about taking some Zoom calls today too. I'm not sure if we're going to do that, but we're going to start doing that nightly. Just a call or two, just people saying hello. Is this it? I think this may be it. Let's just push play on this real quick. I'm not sure if this is the right one. It's not working. Great. Anti-vaxxers? Okay. You got to be kidding. So polio is making a comeback. Thanks, anti-vaxxers? You got to be kidding me, right? This guy actually has the nerve Take a look. This is him right here. This guy has the nerve to say the reason we have monkeypox outbreaks and polio outbreak again after the COVID outbreak is because of anti-vaxxers not getting the COVID vaccine. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. Can someone please leave me a comment below? So people are getting monkeypox and getting new polio again because of not getting vaccinated for COVID-19. Please go freaking read this article. It pissed me off to read it. This is a Yahoo story. Go check it out. Type that freaking title in. Polio is making a comeback. Thanks, anti-vaxxers. And go read the whole thing. I'm sorry, it's going to piss you off because this guy is clearly working for Soros. Leave a comment below and follow for more. He's clearly working for Soros. Did you see that's my theory. He's not, but like he's caught up in the agenda. He's caught up in the agenda. And the reality is this. I actually thought the opposite, and I wanted to put out a video on this before I even saw that. I was like, and I've talked about this on the show, but we didn't have a pandemic for 100 years. All of a sudden, everybody's forced into a line, and now we have not just what we had, which didn't stop a freaking thing. In fact, the only people who seem to be getting this thing and spreading this thing are the ones who stood in line and took 4 freaking boosts. Like the CEO of Pfizer, Joe Biden, all of them, they're getting it. They're all, it's like, what the oh, but thank goodness I had my 4 boosts because it would have been so much worse. I've got an A/B test on that. A couple, one of them had the Vaxxaroo, the other one didn't. The one that didn't have the Vaxxaroo had less symptoms than the one that was fully bugabooed. So what the hell are you telling me? You know what I mean? Like, I think at the end of the day, you have to realize that we're living in times where they can tell you whatever the frig they want. And when enough people say something, it doesn't make it true. You could have a room screaming something. It does not make it true. And if you know it's not true and the entire voice, the entire echo that is coming from the surrounding that you're in is saying something else, don't give in. Don't waver. Your intuition will never lead you astray. I don't know. It's a weird thing because sometimes we are clouded. Like we can't make decisions correctly all the time. We're too close to it. But when it comes down to it, when you have something that you're firmly in belief of, like for me, it was, okay, they've been talking about this for 50 years. Being able to forcefully, you know what I mean? Have people do this. And look, we can make sure that everybody does it by just creating some sort of global thing. Well, they had that, you know? And don't get me wrong. I want you guys to understand the first 2, 3, 4 strains of this thing that we're not talking about, but we're talking about, were scary. People were dropping it and they're 30 years old, 25 years old, 40 years old. And I was nervous for the first couple. I played you guys a clip the other day where I was calling out some people in my neighborhood, a bunch of kids walking around like day 10 of the pandemic, and they're all like all over each other. And I'm a Karen. I'm like, look at these freaking kids. There's probably spreading the CV to each other. Look, that one just sneezed, and they're all just going like this to it. And like, they just are like, hey, let me hopefully get whatever that is that you just sneezed out. And I was totally a Karen 10 days in. I was a Karen for like 4 to 6 months. But once I realized that there's a lot to unravel here. But first, let's just kind of, snap the freaking rubber band at the back of this mask and throw it out and never put one back on again. That was the first step. And then when I started realizing that, what my wife and I were talking about the whole time, which is let's just, make sure we're, vitamins and staying healthy and eating properly and getting rest and all the things that are important. Those are the things we should be focused on. No one talked about that for 2 years. No, just go get a bugaboo. What about, should we get, go to the gym? Should we work out? No, don't worry about that. Just bugaboo it. Wait, but what about, should we just get another one? The first one's good. The second, we're going to probably need 2, maybe a third. We may need a third, but we're thinking 2 is like, a safe and effective amount right now. What's that? Oh, sorry. We're going to need 3. We're going to need 3, but that's it. And you got a robust immunity, you know what I mean? For like a good while, you got it. You're good to go. Huh? What? Oh, 4? Really? We're doing 4? Guys, we're going to need a 4th. Don't worry about it. That was part of the plan the whole time. You don't remember? We said that you'd need 4, What? 5? What? All right. Some of them are going to believe it. Guys, we need 5. Don't worry about it. Everyone's doing it. As soon as you heard that everyone's doing it, no good. I'm going to Antarctica. Somebody just pull a boat around. I'm jumping on. I'm hiding in the basement. Yes, I pretend to be Russian. I'm going to Kyiv. I'm going to see if I can head to Ukraine and fight the war for Putin. Putting in my time for my country.
You bring me to Ukraine. I fight for Putin. I put on my outfit. I put on the AK-47, and I shoot a bullet. I shoot a bullet left. I shoot a bullet right. What are we doing? Oh, Victor, the Russian spy. That's actually a song I wrote. I had a kid in high school named Victor that came here from Russia when we were juniors. He was a freaking awesome hockey player, which you'd expect. And Victor, he's very Russian. He come into the store, come to the play, have a fun and sending back the information to Russia, to Mother Russia. Yes, they have it with the vodka. They drink the vodka. Yes, there with Putin. They put in the glasses out. He drink the vodka in the glass. Oh, she's very good. You like this vodka.
Yeah. Yeah, Stoke, isn't it interesting, though, that if you look at what we've heard from the people above, right? And then just like you said, Stoke and I are in the same boat. I did my research by putting my VPN on and going outside of the United States of America in order to find all my information. And I cited people like scientists and doctors who were being suppressed and canceled. And those are the ones that I got my information from because those are the ones that are speaking the truth. I had Dr. Richard Fleming on my show for 4 episodes in a row for about 2 weeks in a row. He came on 4 times, 16 hours in April of 2020. Dr. Richard Fleming, before he built up and became huge, he's huge now. Dr. Fleming's huge. But he was on my show when he was nothing. And we talked for 16 hours and he shared everything that I believed until we are here today. And all of it came true. Every single thing. Yes, it's all secondhand info, except when I had Dr. Fleming come on, he actually did a makeup on what they say this thing is. They never actually had a genome or the sequence was never actually, the full viral load was never shared. Nobody's still seen this thing, you know? So they're working off that spike, but, Fleming said something very interesting from the beginning. He said that's going to be the problem. The spike, it goes everywhere. It doesn't stay where they tell you. So he said some of that from the beginning. He also said the same people will die whether they have the vaxxer or not. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He said, well, think about it this way. What people are dying from, this is what he said to me at the beginning in April 2020. What people are dying from is thrombosis. Their blood is thickening. And then they're having heart attacks and strokes and they're dying. And I was like, wow. And he goes, that happens in like day 3 or 4 with this original strain. He said the bugaboo doesn't start producing antibodies until day 3 or 4. He says, so by the time it's producing antibodies, you're already going into thrombosis. He said, so the same people are going to die whether they're bugabooed or not. And that's why my theory is one day in 20 years, when we look back and see how many people actually did die from this thing after they were bugabooed or prior, or people who didn't do the bugaboo, we're going to see that the numbers were the same no matter what. The people who survived it would have survived it one way or another, and same as the ones who don't. And I've heard of enough stories where people didn't pull through. And now it's like, okay, now we're at 5 days. You wait 5 days. You didn't have to not be around people if you've been exposed. It's like this has become the flu. I joked the other day when I put this out. I found the CDC guidelines. Here they are right here, guys. Look at this. This is kind of crazy. I'm going to just pause it so you can read this. Or let's just read it together while let's play it first. So it's the flu now? Pause this and follow me for more. Okay, so the Center of Disease Control and Prevention released new guidance Thursday loosening CV19 restrictions. The agency no longer recommends staying 6 feet away for other people. It says contact tracing should be limited to hospitals and high-risk group living situations. The guidance also doesn't advise quarantining for people who've been exposed to the virus but aren't infected. The CDC still encourages testing for people with symptoms and says people who test positive should just stay home for 5 days. It's freaking flu. It's the flu now. You know what I mean? Oh, goodness. It's unbelievable. And I'm like, so why the hell are we, why aren't we just looking at it? You know, this is what I said for the whole time. Like, hopefully we can get to a point where it weakens. It may get more
contagious because that's what these things naturally do, but they lose some of their strength in that process because they don't want to kill their host. They want to stay alive and they want to continue to spread. So the reality is we're finally there where the CV is at that point where they're like, okay, we have to create a Ukraine situation because no one's afraid anymore because people are getting the flu now. And so they're like, okay, Ukraine. And then they're like, monkeypox. Oh, look, we have polio. And then this friggin' moron, which I should pull up his article. You know what? We're pulling up that friggin' moron's article. Hold on. That's what I want to do right now. What was the line again? The byline. Let's see. We just have to pull it up real quick. The byline was, where are we? Okay, here it is. Polio is making a comeback. Thanks, anti-vaxxers. Okay, hold on. I wanted you guys to hear this chooch and how he freaking ties in polio to getting a Covax. Oh, my goodness. This freaking hack journalist. Oh, thank you, anti-vaxxeroos. Come on, dude. Like I said, if that was ever a legitimate theory, I would have said something. But here we go. 11 hours ago, they're all sharing this stupid article this guy wrote. David Axe wrote this, guys. Polio's making a comeback. Thanks, anti-vaxxers. All right, so let's read this, Joanne. What do we got here? If it seems like infectious diseases are coming at us faster, spreading more widely and persisting longer than they have in generations, it's because they are, health experts say. Didn't for 100 years, but now all of a sudden we're having one every 6 months. Yeah, interesting. Maybe it's because you have half the population on planet Earth that just took something that clearly didn't work. I wonder, what did it do? Except for weaken your immune system and open you up to things like monkey freaking pox, which I guess we're changing the name of because it's offending people. We are such a freaking Karen society. Oh, we got to change the name. It's offending people. Don't freaking bang dudes. And get it, you know what I mean? And you're out there sharing it now. Like, look, I'm not against you doing that. If you're into it, if you like to bang, you're doing that, okay, fine, you know? But don't get mad when you get the monkeypox on your dingalinger and it's all over your freaking mouth because you did something you should have. You're playing in the wrong game, you know? Like, where? I wonder if that fits. It probably did because you got it all over your freaking face now. So anyway, earlier this month, polio virus. Guys, by the way, I hope you know this is a freaking comedy show. Deal with it. We're live improvisation in it. You know what I mean? Earlier this month, polio virus was discovered in wastewater in counties outside of New York City late last month. It's signaling the first domestic outbreak since the 1970s of the potentially deadly and crippling virus. Oh my goodness, you're right. Holy cow, you're so right. I'm trying to, he's like, dude, chill it. You're going to get freaking banged out, especially here on the, you know, these freaking people. They're so, this society we're living in is nuts. Like, you can't even make jokes anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, this is satire. We need to get back to allowing satire to breathe. You know, it's just, I was thinking about what we did during the 2-3 years we've been here. It's like SNL. Like, we have no script though, so I don't know what I'm ever going to do, but like, there's some moments here that are so fun and silly, and like, people get offended for the wrong reason. Forget the fact that I'm saying something that typically you'd be offended by. Take a listen to the feeling, to the joking, to the improvisation comedy within it. And maybe you can laugh about somebody else's perspective and not hate. Like, that's the point of this, is like, we need to get past hating each other over our differences and appreciate each other's differences and value them. I don't agree, but I'll freaking fight so you'll have the opportunity to have a voice that could be heard. I don't like this idea of canceling people with a different opinion. You're not strong enough to scroll and just let other people decide if they want to scroll. This mentality of, let me pull it down. Let me take it down. It's just like, I don't really get it. But so let's see. Let me read this guy's article and let's just get through it quickly. CV, monkeypoxaroo, and now polio. If it seems like infectious diseases are coming back. Joanne, we just read this part. Are you double-deckering me? You know, I guess we're just going to scroll a little forward because you just keep giving me the same script over and over. Oh, here we go. Well, it is largely because one thing that we can do reliably to prevent the outbreak of infectious disease is get vaxxarooed. Ah, glad glasses. You rock. Thank you so much, Pissed Off Marine. You're amazing. So what we could do, guys, we could get Vaxarude so we can make sure that we're safe from these things. And then so I was like, wait a second, is he talking about CV? Is he saying that if we get Vaxarude from CV, we could stop? Somebody read along and tell me if we're thinking the same thing here, okay? The one thing we can reliably do to prevent an outbreak of infectious disease is get vaccinated. And one thing millions of people in the United States and across the developed world are failing to do right now. For the first time since the 90s, life expectancy is actually dropping for many groups in the U.S. A fifth of Americans have refused the CV vaccines. He's made it about Cove. Made it about the Cove. A fifth of Americans have refused the CV vax for themselves or their children. Again, you're going to try to put this in children. I want to punch this freaking dude in the face. I'm not a violent person, but he needs a neck chop. Like somebody find this David Axe guy and just ask him, what the frig are you thinking? Trying to push people to go get their kids to take this thing that's the flu now. First strain? I get it. But by the way, what you're taking, apparently they're coming out a new one. But forever, these people have been taking a first strain bugaboo. Everything that you're getting is from a first strain sequence. And we're on like, what are we on, the 6th or 7th strain? Let's go put the first strain back in their shoulder for booster number 9. That guy's got 9 eyes and he can't hear anymore. But maybe he's protected again. Nope, he got Cove. We just got word he got Cove. So, let's see what else we got here. Because he's apparently now, when people are getting polio, it's because they didn't get a CV vax. This is what this guy David Axe has to say. Okay, according to Center of Disease Control and Prevention, just 65% of residents of some counties of New York, Orange, and Rockland counties, for instance, are vaxarude for polio, compared to a nationwide average of 80%. So maybe I read this wrong. It should come to no surprise that when polio reappeared in the U.S. last month, the first outbreak since '79, the first diagnosed case was from Rockland. So now the question I do have to say is, isn't that just given to your children now? You just go in and you take the polio vaxarude. That's just part of it. You go in and you get it. We're time traveling in a sense, returning to that dark time before bugaboos. The extent to which people are currently rejecting scientific findings and expertise of all kinds is scary, said Mary Frissell, a historian of medicine at Johns Hopkins University. And it's safe to say most people have no idea how bad things could get if we continue along this path. It used to be a lot worse, Frissell said. The developed world's success for preventing diseases seeded a kind of complacency, or worse, conspiratorial thinking, as whole generations just assumed those diseases would never or could never return. Misinformation on social media has made the problem worse, with many of the strident anti-bugabooers actually blaming bugaboos for the very diseases the vaccines prevent. We as a species seem to have forgotten. Let me read that again. Many of the strident anti-bugabooers are actually blaming the bugaboo for the very diseases the vaccine prevent. No, what I'm saying is you are clearly susceptible of getting CV after you've gotten all of your shots. So that's not an Here's the thing. I'm not what they say here. I can't say that word apparently, but I'm not that guy. All of my children have had their bugaboos, except for the CV. I've had every single one of my vaccinations, except for the CV, because that's freaking some sort of Frankenstein crap. 9 months, mRNA! Shoot it into my shoulder 74 times until I come out like Joanne with a freaking humongocarditis. No, thank you. The whole time, this is where I knew I was right and everybody else is friggin' nuts. As soon as they started pulling down my Dr. Fleming episodes and they started pulling down me saying the word CV and words that start with an I and end with ek and there's an N at the end, and like those words got me pulled down. I was like, what the there's something messed up here. And that's when I knew, yep, we're dead on, and that's why they're trying to suppress any truth that's out there. And it sucks because I can't shut this freaking mouth. I can't. I'm trying to keep you guys in the loop, And so that guy has just pissed me off. Hold on, let me finish off the story. I want to get to the part where he brings it back about the CV. He does go into like the entire history of In 1798, a British physician, Edward Jenner, invented the first bugaboo for smallpox. Slowly but steadily over the next 150 years, scientists developed more bugaboos and public health authorities administered them to more and more people. Jabs for smallpox, plague, tetanus, measles, polio, and other diseases made those diseases much rarer and outbreaks more sustainable. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I saw a graph once. I want to see if I can. History of bugaboos. Now, I just wanted to see, because we are talking about these bugaboos that clearly work and effectively. They're safe and effective. But the clear, I can't find this. There was a graph I saw once. Let's see if I can find it again. General Vax timeline. Beef Jenner and after CV. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Does it show? Okay. Measles and smallpox described separately. Okay. This is when things took place. Let's see. We got this guy invented the first bugaboo. Okay. I'm just trying to find Jenner's breakthrough. Okay. Can we see there? I know, for example, the actual polio vaccine took a long time. Let's see if we can find it. Antitoxin. Typhoid. Biology's Control Act. Spanish flu. Tuberculosis. Early polio vaccine trials. Let's see. That was, okay, so that's in 1935. Whooping cough in 39. There was this actual graph, and it showed how each one, how long it actually, is this it? No. It showed how long each took to develop, and I was blown away how long each, they all took a very long time. They were not done in a year. They were done over, okay, what's this? Ooh, Leonard Scheel, MD of U.S. Surgeon General, suspended the PolioVax program in order to investigate the safety of all 6 manufacturers. The full review concluded that 11 people died from the bugaboo and hundreds were paralyzed. Though the cause of the disaster was never proven, it is likely that the certain production methods, which turned out did not follow Salk's instructions, resulted in a failure to completely kill the type 1 Mahoney polio virus in the vaccine. Wow. So basically, guys, okay, just to go back, the first trials were in 1935, right? Let's just look, just to make sure we have this. 1935, right there. You see this? Early polio vaccine trials, 1935. Remember that date? We were up into the 50s and something was taking place there, I just saw. Here we go. Polio vaccination suspended. Then this is Soviet's trials of Sabin's live polio virus vaccine. So this is a new, let's see. Sabin forged a bond with Soviet health officials who were interested in a cheaper alternative to Salk's Vaxaroo. Sabin had spent years studying and attenuating the 3 types of poliovirus, so they were effective in inducing immunity to polio, but weak enough not to cause disease. A massive bugaboo campaign began, and Sabin's oral polio bugaboo was fed to 10 million Soviet children. Unlike Salk's trials in 1954 in the United States, the trial of Sabin's bugaboo used no unvaxxed control group. All right, so let's just see. That's 54. Rubella. Measles, mumps, and rubella, that came out. Oh, okay, smallpox. 77. So smallpox, that's not what we're looking for. Goal set for polio elimination in Americas, 1985. Let's try this one. How long did it take for polio to be developed? How long? Somebody should probably tell me. How long did it take Salk to develop the polio vaccine? Oh, wait a second. Here we go, history.com. We're getting into it now, guys. Jonas Salk. Ooh, I remember that name now. American medical researcher Dr. Jonas Salk announces on national radio on March 26, 1953, that he had successfully, what the frig, you got me over here with History Channel, that he had successfully tested a vaccine against poliomyelitis, the virus that causes the crippling disease of polio. In 1952, in an epidemic year of polio, there were 58,000 new cases reported in the United States, and more than 3,000 people died from the disease. For his work to help eradicate the disease, it is known as the infant paralysis because it mainly affects children. Dr. Salk was celebrated as the great doctor benefactor of his time. Polio, a disease that affected humanity many times throughout recorded history, attacks the nervous system and can cause varying degrees of paralysis. Since the virus is easily transmitted, epidemics were commonplace in the first decades of the 20th century. The first major polio epidemic in the United States occurs in Vermont in the summer of 1894. And by the 20th century, thousands were affected every year. In the first decades of the 20th century, treatments were limited to quarantines and the infamous iron lung, a metal coffin-like contraption that aided respiration. Although children and especially infants were among the worst affected, adults were often also afflicted, including for future President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who in 1921 was stricken with polio at the age of 39 and was left partially paralyzed. Roosevelt later transformed his estate in Warm Springs, Georgia, in order to recover for the treatment of polio victims, and was instrumental in raising funds for polio-related research and treatment of polio patients. Okay, so guys, he in 1921 was stricken with polio, okay, and it started in 1894. Okay, 1894 until 1950-something. That's when they actually got a polio vaccine. It took them 50-plus years to do polio vaccine. Okay, they had in 1795. They had vaccines, so it wasn't that. It took a long time to get polio right. Okay, Salk was born, and freaking Jonas Salk did it. You know, it's not like it was freaking Brad at Pfizer. You know, Brad at Pfizer came up with the formula. He did? Oh, freaking Brad! What a freaking scientist we got there. You know. You mean the guy who farts and eats Twinkies at the same time? God almighty, you know? That's the guy. We're going to give him the Nobel with Obama. Salk's procedure, first attempted unsuccessfully by American Maurice Brodie in the 1930s, was to kill several strains of the virus and then inject the benign viruses into a healthy person's bloodstream. The person's immune system would then create antibodies designed to resist future exposure to poliomyelitis. So some guy had the concept in the 1930s, he just didn't do it. He didn't, they always say it's not about the idea, it's about how it's, executed. And basically, whoever had the idea, this Brodie guy, Maurice Brodie, he didn't kill the strains properly because he did the same thing. So anyway, let's see what this is. Salk conducted the first human trials on former polio patients and on himself and his family. And by 1953, he was ready to announce his findings. This occurred on CBS National Radio, which we just read. The 1954 clinical trials using Salk's Vaxaroo and a placebo began on 1.3 million American school children. In 1955, it was announced that the Vaxaroo was effective and safe. We've heard that before, haven't we, guys? And the nationwide inoculation campaign began. Shortly thereafter, the tragedy struck in the western and midwestern United States, where more than 200,000 people were injected with a defective bugaboo manufactured by Cutter Laboratories of Berkeley, California. Thousands of polio cases were reported, 200 were left dead, paralyzed, and 10 died. 200 were left paralyzed, and 10 died. The incident delayed production of the bugaboo, but new polio cases dropped to under 6,000 in 1957, the first year after the bugaboo was widely available. In 1962, an oral bugaboo developed by a Polish-American researcher, Albert Sabin, became available, greatly facilitating the distribution of the polio bugaboo. We have to say that, guys, because if we say the word, they freaking boot you. It's just weird, but they do it. Among other honors, Jonas Salk was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1977. He died in La Jolla, California in 1995. That's pretty
Good stuff. Thank you, Dr. Jonas Salk, for giving us the polio bugaboo after 56 years or whatever the frig it was. You know what I mean? Like, guys, you could say what you want about it. Dude took about half a century in order to get it to you, you know? And people want to pretend. Let's get back to this last story of the day, guys. Marshall Islands, once nearly CV-free, confronts an outbreak. Joanne, can we get into this one real quick? As a remote nation of the Pacific, Marshall Islands has been almost completely spared from the CV-19, registering just a handful of cases throughout the pandemic, with no community transmission detected. But in just over a week, more than 4,000 people have tested positive in a population of about 60,000, including the country's Secretary of Health and Human Services, Jack Niedenthal. He has been providing updates on Facebook and said 75% of those tested in Majora the county had CV-19, a very high rate of infected people, whatever you call it. In an interview Tuesday, Niedenthal said that there was some panic and concern given that the islands, about halfway between Hawaii and the Philippines, had not recorded a single CV case last year. So we're thinking like, hey guys, what are we doing? You know what I mean? The problem is people started wanting to travel and they missed their loved ones. Some leaders traveled. As life began to return to normal, keeping the virus out was impossible, he said. Niedenthal expected the case count to continue rising given the dense population. The next 3 or 4 days are going to be pretty rough, he said. Hundreds of healthcare workers have been among the infected, and the hospital in Majuro, immunizations were halted because almost the entire team was out. Most of the medical records keepers were out, and house cleaning staff was reduced to one person, he said. On August 10, Niedenthal called healthcare workers back to work even if they had tested positive, saying they would be screened and would not interact with patients. He said it was a drastic measure that has been taken throughout the world and that the Pacific has a COVID numbers rising quickly and we are left with no other choice. Hospitalizations and deaths tend to lag behind case numbers, but as this week we've been a few severe cases, including 6 deaths. The population is highly vaccinated. 72% are fully vaccinated in Majuro, and 61% have boosters, according to the government data. The Marshall Islands closed its borders in early March 2020, taking more drastic measures than its neighbors at the time. It was one of the last places on the planet to get its first cases when 2 travelers were quarantined before spreading it in October 2020. Niedenthal said the first known cases of the current outbreak were among the group of teenagers who had no travel history or no known contact with anyone who'd been in quarantine. So we know we were in trouble because they came from a crowded community. He said that over the past few days, people have been worried, but there's a strong sense of community on the islands. It's not like panic in the U.S. where everyone is buying toilet paper, he said. Hey, that's a freaking great line right there. Joanne! What? No, there's more toilet paper under the sink. She's always, just reminded. Oh, that's right. I forgot we need toilet paper. No, we don't, Joanne. It's under the sink. Unlike early in the pandemic, the islands now have access to CV-19 treatment such as Paxlovid, which gives you a double-decker. You get it, and then you're like, I'm better, and then you're not. You're freaking Joe Biden. Look, I didn't have to go to the hospital. Got these freaking dead beady eyes like a shark. He looked like a shark when he came out for that next speech, right? Oh, my Aunt Judy told me with the stupid beady eyes. Oh, you see that shark? Arr. There's that guy. Remember the guy who was also in The Sting? Lonigan. When you're there with Doyle Lonigan, and he's got 4 9s, and he can't wait to drop the 4 9s on you because he gave you a 333. Oh, look, he's got 4 3s. I got 4 9s. And you pull out the 4 jacks. That's the stuff right there. Some people don't realize that's like the cream of the crop moment, 4 9s. He drops it, 4 9s. And he's like so excited about the fact that, Paul Newman's just about to drop his freaking 4 3s. 4 9s, Lonigan, Shh. 4 jacks. How the freak did you do that? I wasn't going to call him cheating in my own card game. And then freaking, Newman takes the cake. You got to watch The Sting if you don't know it.
Dial on again. Anyway, guys, other governments have pitched in. Taiwan donated thousands of masks, protective gowns, and other products, while American Samoa sent shipments of Paxlovid. They're like, we don't freaking want this crap. Here, you guys take the Paxlovid. You do a double decker of the sickness, and we're good here. We're good. Just remember, we're good guys. We gave it to the Paxlov. You know what I mean? Like, that's you. You go with the Paxlov. You're sharing it, sharing the love, the double decker. Cove. Angeline Heine Reimers, a government worker in Majura, said catching the virus had been almost unavoidable. Many people live in multifamily homes. She said adding that 15 of the 16 people who live in their house had contracted the virus. The good thing is that all of us had been bugabooed, Heine Reimers said. Can I just read that part again? Because I'm really just like scratching my head. Angeline Heine Reimers, Heine Reamer. Holy freaking cow, guys. Angeline Heine Reamer. She's got a Heine Reamer situation. Angeline Heine Reamer, government worker in Majuro, said catching the virus had become almost unavoidable. Well, you know, if you'd had all your bugaboos and all your boosts and you were up to date, then maybe we wouldn't be hearing about that. But let's just hear what you say next. Let's just find out. We're going to tie it in here because she just said it's unavoidable. Many people live in multifamily homes, she said, adding that 15 of the 16, that means only one freaking person was spared. And by the way, go check with her. The 16th got it, I guarantee you. 15 of the 16 who live in her house had contracted the virus. That's terrible. You know what, though? The thing is, maybe if they had gotten bugabooed, gotten bugaboosted, then, like, you know, they would have been fine. Then no issues. Then you'd be like, oh, you know what? None of us got it. It skipped this house because we did what the CDC told us. You know, but anyway, let's get back to it and see, you know, how they handled it here when they, because, you know, they didn't do that, you know. The good thing is that we all have been vaccinated. Wait, Joanne! Heine Reimers said that they've been bugabooed. So why did 15 of the 16 get it? I don't understand. I thought they were bugabooed and bugaboostered. Wouldn't that mean they were like, they'd skipped our house? We did the CDC thing. They told us, don't do it. You go get in your line, take that freaking shot, and you're good to go. You don't remember this line, you're not going to get CV19 if you get your inoculations. My Aunt Judy told me to get it. That was the guy who just had it a month ago, double-decker style with the freaking beady, horse eyes. He had the bowling ball eyes sticking out of his face when he's trying to speak to the American people. Look, Donald Trump, he had to go to the hospital. My Aunt Judy told me. My Aunt Judy told me that I got CV and that I did it better than Trump. And I'm going to poop my triple diaper. But remember, I don't blink, and I'm a friggin' shark now. Huh? What? Jill, I got to poop in my triple diaper. Come on over and I sleep with my eyes closed. That's what happens when he's there. I'm still doing his eyes, aren't I? What's that, Joanne? I can see clearly now the rain is gone. No, 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 no. All right, well, what are we doing over here, John? Seriously, like we're in the middle of it. You're singing, you know? Lion King. Marie Davis Milne. Are we off of Reamer? Are we off of Heine Reamer? You know, Joanne, when you have a character in the play, in the comedy news, named Heine Reamer. Yeah, that's right. Comedy Gold. She gets Comedy Gold. Yeah, Comedy Gold. You know, sometimes Joanne adds a little to the show. You know, like I need to get her to fill in. And I know you guys are annoyed by the wheeze and some, you know, the way she talks. I get it. But look, Heine Reimers. If you're a guy and you married someone, your name was Reimers and her name was Heine, and she keeps that, we're going to question, you know. We're going to question both of you. Like, what were you thinking? Hey, I'm keeping it. Hyphen it. I'm doing a hyphen. Wait, hold on. Are you hyphening your last name or your middle name? No, my middle name. What? You're going to do Heine in the middle? Why didn't you just do your last name, you know? You could do your last name, Angeline Phillipson. And then we could be like, Angeline Phillips and Reimers. That works. You know what I mean? Like, let's do that one. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. I really am proud of my middle name. I don't like my last name, like Phillipson. Stupid, at first. Plus, writing that out, it's always been like Phillipson. I'm dropping the Phillipson. I'm putting Heine in. But honey, Heine, you do know that your last name now, you're married into it, is Reimers. You want to throw Heine in front of that? Like, think that one out. It's like when you're in there, you had the baby and they give you the paperwork and they're like, okay, here you go. What's the baby's name? What are we doing? Who's the godmother, godfather? That's a decision you got to make over there. Like, give me a few minutes. Why don't you leave, come back in the morning. We'll give you a completed document to hand to the hospital so you could put our kids into the system. Once you're in, you can't get out, and we'll do it that way, Heine Reimers. The next morning she woke up, she slept on it. She was like, Heine Reimers. She started doing like a chant like they do at the hockey games, Heine Reimers. Hi, guys, clap with me. Here we go. Heine Reimers. Heine Reimers. And then at the end, just as a joke, they'd always be like, Heine Reimers. The crowd goes wild for Heine Reimers, He's doing it. It's a little gross, but that's on them. They decided to stick with the name combo. Angeline. I only wish people call her by her first name instead of doing the last name deal. You know what I mean? Some people, like, you're playing basketball, they're like, Jordan, pass it. Jordan, pass it, They're like, Heine Reimers. Get it over to me. Let's go. I'm open, Heine Reimers. And they're like, ooh, it's an open Heine Reimer? What are we talking about over here? So, Joanne, what? We're moving past Heine Reimer? Okay, I guess. Joanne said we can move past it. Okay. We'll get the last line in, Joanne. The Marshall Islands had been one of the highest rates of diabetes in the world, according to the data compiled by the World Bank. Everybody is just really scared, Heine Reimers said. By Menon. Yeah, you better bring your speed stick. Marie Davis Milne, the mayor of Abone Atoll, about 240 miles southwest of Majuro, said authorities were trying to prevent the spread of the virus by stopping most planes and ships that travel, Joanne, between neighboring islands. She said that in the past few days, she had volunteered at testing sites on Majuro where some people had waited under the hot sun for hours. Even if rains, they didn't move. Davis Milne said they don't want to lose their place in line. They may run into Heine's Reimer. Heine Reimers. People, she's a freaking legend there on the atoll. You know what I mean? Like, when they talk about the Heine Reimer, they're like, she's got it open. It's open for business, What's that? No, Joanne, I know. I could do another 35 minutes on this. Anyway, anything else, Joanne? What are we doing over here? I guess we had to think about the rainwater. It's no longer safe. This is no good, guys. Rainwater no longer safe to drink anywhere on planet Earth due to forever chemicals linked to cancer. This little girl right here, she's got forever chemical cancer. Right there. She's just dragging it. She's like, here, let me bring this forever chemical cancer out there and just pop it on my freaking crops. Anyway, that's how she rolls. 8-year-old Chelsea Simmons carries a bucket of, cancer-ridden rainwater in her family's yard in the drought-affected town of Murrurundi, now North South Wales, Australia. Oh, good eye, mate. On February 17th, 2020. Oi, noi. Hold on a minute. So you're there in the 2020 taking a picture of her and she's talking about this now in 2022? Rainwater across Earth contains levels of forever chemicals unsafe to drink, studies suggest, per polyfluoroalkyl substances. That's PFAs, mofos. We read this yesterday, so I want to tell you something. Okay, bottom line here. And this is what I was telling you earlier, why freaking TikTok is amazing. You guys are awesome. YouTube, you're amazing. Start leaving and keep leaving comments on the news stories that I put out, because I need more feedback. I got this back from somebody about this rainwater story. Okay, Mark, so just to be clear, if rainwater across the earth contains levels of forever chemicals unsafe to drink, then that means all of our food, all of any water, our spring water, anything that produces sustenance, liquids, anything, it all has PFAs at dangerous levels linked to cancer, and it's pervading homes and environments. So what they don't want to tell us, if this is true, and it seems like it probably is true, is rainwater across the earth contains levels of forever chemicals, and so does everything you eat and anything else you drink, because it all starts there, doesn't it? Oh, we can filter it out. I don't think they can filter those out. I'm pretty sure that can't be filtered out. Tell me if I'm wrong. Can you filter out PFAs? Let's find out. We're doing a lot of great. Look at that. Guys, why is it at the top of the screen? You talk about how they're totally spying on us. Whoo! It's at the top of the screen right there. Do water filters remove PFAs? While some water filters remove certain types of potentially dangerous polyfluorinated substances, it is important that you check the packaging to see. A company is NSF P473 or NSF certified to standard P7473. All right, so there may be a few water filters that remove PFAs. There's one here in 2022, January. Let's pull it up. It's right here. Here's the thing, water nerds on. We like them. Water nerds got 4.55. Let's give them a like over here because that's cool that they're doing this.
Yeah, so just for a bit of introduction, a few pre-filters
tell me what filters
our support channel, because really the main takeaway. Some pitcher filters that we have on our...
I like the water nerd, but the reality is we need to hear from a scientist. We need to hear some freaking water. Here we go, Forever Chemicals. Dr. Roger Schulel. Look, this is from June 22nd. And Forever Chemicals explained. But I don't need him to explain it. I want to know what freaking filters. Okay, here we go. Someone did the work for us. Best water filters for PFAs in 2022. The only list you need. Let's get into it, guys. I'm going to freaking save you and your life and your family. This is what we do here in the Renaissance Man Show. It's not just the music and the content that does it. We also provide you with life-changing information, like water filters that take out the PFAs in the water that's forced upon us in the crap sink water that we get. Oh, it's been filtered at the freaking aqueduct. The aqueduct? What are we, 1953? Whatever. Springwell CF whole water house filter. That's a good one. It does PFAs a 99%er. That's a 99%er right there, guys. You got to definitely look into that one. The clearly filtered water filter pitcher. That's a pretty cool name. The clearly filtered water filter pitcher. It has a 99.8% PFA removal. Hold on a second. See price on Amazon. Guys, I have like an Amazon thing where like I can provide links. It's $110. That's not bad. I should start doing this because what I have to start understanding is this. A lot of people make a side hustle where they're just the products that they are pitching or talking about. They just provide a link, and then if you do like it and buy it, a couple dollars would go towards the show. That could be helpful. So I have to work that out. And if you do like stuff like this, let me know and I can send it to you and let me know because that would be helpful to just give you that link. I've done that for Jacqueline, actually. Jacqueline is amazing. She sent me a bunch of product codes, and I just go in there and pull them up and send her back links, and she would just buy them there. And I don't even know. I never got any money from Amazon for it, but still, that's the concept, and I'd love to do that for everybody here. So, okay, here we go. Tristan said, I use a high-test British cancerifications filter. I feel like a newborn baby boy. Are you a PSFA, sir, Renaissance Man? I may say some. You know what's crazy? I've got, it looks like a shower head, doesn't it? I've got a Kanga filter, a Kanga water, system, and I've got this 2-filter system underneath. I don't know if it takes PFAs out. I have no idea. So that's something I have to look into. In fact, I may be able to find it on here while we're looking at our options of what the best ones are. Gravity fed. I've heard those are good. In fact, PFA is a 99.9% removal, guys. This one right here is a great countertop system. It says it costs $40 a year. filter life is 6,000 gallons. Let's see how this puppy is. How many gallons? I mean, how many ducats? $405. Woo! You want to have some clean water? You get yourself a big Berkey gravity-fed water filter with 2 blackberry Berkey purification elements. We can get one for $4 or $5. Get there for $10 next time. No. I'm giving you $50 off. Get down, saying I'll be by board. We're doing a freaking auction style, old school. Like, why? This is the thing I don't understand. Why isn't it when I go to eBay, I don't have that in the background? Like, I want to hear a dude in the background. Oh, but I got $1, got $7, $50, $10, $2, $15, $10, $30, and sold. It's like, I want to hear that when I'm doing the thing. I'm starting my own freaking eBay. It's with that guy. I'll do the voiceover. What's that? No, Joanne, you can't do it. Nobody wants to hear you wheeze. Oh, man, Joanne just kills me with that sometimes. Oh, Aquasana, there's another one, guys. And Aquasana does a 96%, though. That's crap. You're leaving 4% of those PFAs in there for the fam. I don't like that. I'm sorry. You could do better. Do better if you're like a water filtration system. I'm going to need 4.4% of PFAs in there. Dummy. Just lost my business. And it's only removing 77 contaminants. Like, what are we talking about here? You can do a 77 contaminant removal. Like, even here, this clearly filtered pitcher, that one does a 365, removal. That's pretty solid. I like that one. And it does a 99.8. You're still 0.2%. You know what I mean? You can't get them all. What are we talking about here? I got the clearly pictured pitcher. Yeah, well, then where's the freaking 99.9%? You know what I mean? I get 99.8. Stupid. 2%, 0.2? Whatever. That could be the worst one. Like, you got them all except for the really bad PFAs, the last 0.2%. Designed that way, This one only does 100 gallons. See, like, what are we? This one's got 1 million gallons. The Springwell's 1 million gallon filter life. You got to think that water starts to taste like freaking copper or whatever at that, let's call it 750,000 gallons. You're like, I don't know. Maybe I should get this filter changed here. What are we at, honey? 751,262 gallons. Yeah. You know what? I think you paid. Let's see how much you paid for this one. The Springwell. Price it at springwell.com. It is a 99% though, Joanne, so there's a full 1% or 0.9% that's doing crap for us. Is this $1,100 freaking dollars? Yes. Holy cow. Hold on, we can make it even more. UV water purification. We're doing that. We're doing a reverse osmosis. Look at Springwell. Hey, it looks like you're from New York. Yeah, you know what? That's because I have a freaking VPN on. It looks like you're in New York. Yeah, I'm VPNing you. Don't make me go to Germany with it. Achtung. You do an Achtung on me? Right? Alemania. Sometimes you say that. Anyway, look, guys, if you want to do the whole house water filter system with the Springwell deal, we're talking about $2,600 cold hard cash, And if you want a coupon code, Renaissance Man 2022, they're trying to double decker me. Are you sure you don't want the coupon? I don't want your stupid coupon. Okay, I'm not getting your Springwell for $13,000. Hey, it was really good. Yeah, you had to get a loan? Look, what are we talking about over here? Oh, goodness. So, guys, I hope you know, if I was going to get one of these, it's the clearly filtered water pitcher. It's got a 15% off if you click the code. Hold on. Clearly filtered. Guys, who wants to clearly filtered? Let me know. I'll get you a link to it. That one. I'll give you the link to 15% off. And then you can get the discount. I don't get anything, but who the freak cares as long as you get some clean water. Anyway, I'll leave that story open. You can see best water filters for PFAs in 2022. You can pull that up. It was actually just put out yesterday. Holy cow. Brian Campbell just updated it yesterday. Let's tell Brian thank you. Oh, let's see. Brian is the founder and head of content at waterfilterguru.com. He's a content strategist, writer, editor, and water treatment expert. He got his start. Hold on, we got to get his full bio now. He got his start working for a hack company and multinational brand providing water quality analysis tools, instrumentation, and services to municipal and industrial markets around the world. His passion for helping people gain access to clean, safe water flows through the expert industry coverage he provides. Good guy right there, Brian. We have Laura Shellkraus. She's a passionate health and wellness. I'm not doing the freaking entire company, Joanne. You know, you go get the water filter. Everybody's happy. There we go. We did it, guys. Measles, mumps, rubella. That's another one, just so you know. Okay, water guru, thanks. Yep, the black Berkey. If you want it, remember, we're doing some sort of weird biggity by boar thing. Talking about I'm saying identified when it's getting sound sold to the guy over there with a freaking mullet. The mullet's back, by the way. My kid told me that last year. He's like, yeah, you know, people are into the mullet. I said, what? Are they dumb? What are we talking about over here? I mean, I'm joking. I think it's hilarious. Just Joe Dirt, you know. Joe Dirt. Wow, you do it again. Stab you in the face with a soldering iron. Wow, strawberry blonde hair doing it, Christopher Walken. You dog. You get the clearly filtered water pitcher, Joanne, doing it. $110. We got a 15% off, guys. 15% off. Now make it a 20. Man, I wish I could do that. That would be so much fun. Anyway, guys, just so you know, going back to it.
I lost my Senate seat.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. Maybe you shouldn't have been such a stupid face. You know? Joanne, she brought that on herself. Her father also shot some dude with a shotgun, and then the guy apologized to the vice president, Cheney. I'm sorry for getting in the way of your shotgun. You know, you're shooting. My bad, you know? That's what happened. But she's out. And then, look, at the end of the day, you have to remember something, okay? You don't mess with the trumper. Winning big league. I'm here at Mar-a-Lago. Found my friggin' passports. They were under my pillow. I thought the FBI took it. No, I had it there. Melania was cleaning them. She takes the fingerprints off just in case, you know. In fact, I burned my fingerprints so they could never find the trumper. I'm winning big league. I got the bumper. Gonna bring my wife Melania there and Barron. He's 17 feet tall. Anunnaki. I think Barron may be an Anunnaki. Or he's a Nord. There's something weird there. You know what I mean? He's 6'9" last we checked. You know? What's this thing? We have got 5% here on TikTok. My phone's going to die at 5%, guys, so we're going to have to pull this puppy. Hold on. I'm plugging it back in so you get some power instead of the great audio. I'm sorry. This show should be over. What am I doing still in the air? Because you guys know we have too much fun here. Right? I mean, what are we talking? What are we talking about over here? Sean B., how are you, my friend? Let me see. I'm clicking in over here now that we have at least ourselves conservative being in the house with me. I love it. And Sean B. and Miss Cloud, you guys are awesome. Yeah, we're basically here just going through the news today. As you know, a couple things took place. Representative Liz Cheney, she lost her seat in Wyoming, and you could tell by that dumb face, you know, like,
What are we doing over here? Oh, I didn't win.
no, you didn't win. You freaking stink. You know, Trump had endorsed a challenger, Harriet Hagman, and she took down this clown. So that's it. And then, of course, as you know, Sleep Sofa Joe signed the $739 billion Inflation Reduction Act into law. He slams the GOP for voting against the tax and the climate deal. You know, it's weird, but we read through this. I didn't see him bashing the other side here, although he probably did if I watched it, you know. But he does it a lot. The thing is, I have to say, what I see here is these you know what I mean, like journalists, and this is, what is this? This is Fox News. Look at the gaslight. You know what I mean? Right here. Biden signed $739 billion Inflation Reduction Act into law. Slams GOP for voting against the tax. I don't see him slamming. I think he's just excited that he has this thing pass. And I think at the end of the day, we have to start calling things out for what they are. And again, I just want to know really what's in it. I do know that they're going to be freaking bolstering out that IRS, and that is weird. You'd be sending freaking people out into, you know, with guns, armed. They're looking for armed individuals. And one of my friends posted a picture of a football stadium with like 85,000 students. It's crazy. You see how many people in that stadium. And he says, this is how many IRS agents that they're hiring to come knock on your door with guns. I was like, what the it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know, I do whatever I can in order to make a living in this country, and then I pay a crap load of money to these freaking people, and I don't even understand the concept, because apparently if you look close enough at the actual tax law, there is nothing that says that you, as someone who works in the United States of America for a company, works hard for a living, has to pay income tax. There's nothing that says it. We are forced to do it, because if not, they're going to show up at our door with guns and put us in jail. It's like you're forced to do it. There's no, it's voluntary. They force you in, they put you in jail if you don't do it. But it's like, if you go through it, there's a couple of people who worked for the IRS. They went through it for years trying to find one clause that says Mark Pires, who works as a real estate agent, has to pay 50, whatever it is, for 37%. And after you start talking about all the taxes, I'm not talking about just income. We're talking about all of the taxes. Think about your gas taxes, your home tax, your car tax. I have to pay $1,100 this year for my freaking car tax in my town. For it to keep it in my driveway, in my house that I pay to own, I got to also pay the town to have it on my property. It's freaking mental. And it's, I think about this. I live in and this is the Northeast for you. I'm a real estate agent, so like these are crazy real numbers. But in Connecticut, you're talking about, just for example, in my town here, if you take a $1 million home, let's call it a $1 million home, the taxes are roughly $15,000 a year. So think about that. You got to pay the $1 million, that nut, but then each month you're throwing on another, let's call it $1,100, $1,150 on top of the mortgage to pay your taxes. You go to a place like Florida, you're paying like $1,150 to $3,500 for the entire year. And it's like, you go to Westchester County, which I'm also licensed in New York. So I sell in Westchester in New York City. And you go to Westchester in a place like Rye, and you look at a beautiful $1 million home, you're talking about $30,000 in taxes. It's crazy. It's double what it is in Fairfield, Connecticut. So I don't understand how they could break the backs of everybody and then say, hey, by the way, you when you get to a certain age, I don't know what you want us to do about it. We put you into special, what it's called, special services or whatever. You're like welfare, and welfare is crap. Like they put you in this, like, if you run out of money in this world, they don't really care. Nobody gives a crap. And the reality is, the way that they run this complete charade where they take everybody's money and then they throw it away on Ukraine and everything else, all these different programs, is a great video I saw of Reagan. And Reagan's just saying, the problem is one party continues to come up with this brilliant scheme in order to change the climate or to change society or whatever, and it fails miserably. And then they just come up with, we have a better plan now. It's like, it just reminded me of what they're doing right now. It's like this Green New Deal. Oh, it's just like another way for us to spend money we don't have as a country. And then they just break our backs and take more money. Oh, no, your taxes aren't going to go up. Inflation's not because of me. There's a great video, too, of Sleepy Joe saying, look, if there's an issue and inflation continues to rise, it'll be because of my policies, not because of any other reason. So, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to work. If it doesn't, it'll be because of my policies. You're going to have to come back and see. And now we're like, whoa. But I do want to point out, if you are out there, say you're a buyer looking to buy a piece of real estate, the rates did jump dramatically this year from where they were for a very long time. People got complacent. They're like, they'll be there forever. We knew it wasn't going to be there. I started the show Get to Know America for that very reason. I knew things would shift to a point where we're going to have to start selling our towns again. So I made 5 or 6 of these already, where it's a town in Connecticut. I did Greenwich, I did New Canaan, I did Wilton, I did Ridgefield, I did Fairfield, and I think that's it. And they're all up on the Get to Know America channel. My plan was to do one every Sunday. But the reality is, until I can make something for that, I don't have the time for it. I was filming every day and then editing on the weekends to get an episode out for you. I did that for 5 weeks. And I was just like, I haven't figured out how to find a sponsor or anything for this. So I have 3 kids and a wife. I got to sell real estate. I can't do this. I'd love to create episodes of Get to Know America for you. I'd love to do more. But the reality is I can't. And maybe that'll change. And that's the hope, is one day a sponsor comes along or someone says, look, we'll give you X amount each month. Just throw our name on you talk about us every show. You do a commercial. Imagine if I did a comedy commercial every day for brands. That's what I want to do. Like, I think if I can get a couple people who have companies that are already spending money on advertising and say, you know what, every day I want you to read this script, Mark, about my company. Howard Stern used to do this. He does it still. Joe Rogan, where they read a freaking script for a product. And then that's it. But I'm the only longest running show on planet Earth, 1,324 days in a row. Every day of the year, I can promote someone live on the air and do it fresh and unique each time. Today it's Christopher Walken. Tomorrow it's me doing just me, but doing something goofy. And each day it's the same exact script, but read differently. And who wouldn't want that for their brand? I'm going to clip this out and send it out tomorrow on TikTok and see if anybody says, you know what? Yeah, I got a brand. I don't even know what to charge for something like that. But I think at the end of the day, if you are able to send your clients and say, hey, there's a guy who promotes my product every single day. What do you mean every day? Yeah, Christmas, he's live. And he's going to be promoting my brand that day. Are you serious? What's the name of the show? Mark Pires Renaissance Man. Go check it out. And I'll do a freaking half hour of commercials and just sit here and read people's brands. Especially if that would help me be able to do that more, go do Get to Know America. I actually suggested that same type of thing. When I talked to my manager, I said, to me, if I was a real estate company and one of my agents was doing something like Get to Know America, I would sponsor that and say, hey, here's X. Every episode, I want Berkshire Hathaway, the brand, in there. Hey, for real estate needs in this town that we just did, Berkshire Hathaway. Oh, for this town that we did here. And you have a brand on evergreen. It's always there. And when I keep going and we eventually catch up with the world, or the world catches up with us, really, someone's going to go back and see that and see Berkshire Hathaway. And they're going to, next time when they buy a house, and they may say, oh, it's pretty cool that Mark created this way before things took off. And he's promoting the brand, this company. Because I do it during the episodes. I'll go in there when I'm passing by the Berkshire Hathaway office. I'm like, guys, just a quick note. I'm a realtor. Don't forget. And remember that. No matter where you live in the world, I can help you find a realtor. Doesn't mean I can work with you. I wish I could. But what I could do is locate the best agent in the town you're looking. You want to sell your house? I call the Berkshire Hathaway office in the town you live, speak to the manager. I get the top 2 to 4 agents, and I find an opportunity to speak to them. And I determine who I think the best choice would be for you, who I think is proactive, someone who's going to think outside the box for you and has the negotiation skills necessary in order to get you the best value. And then I'm going to send you that info and say, look, you may find some Tom, Dick, and Harry to come and interview. Interview them. I don't want you to not interview them. I want you to interview them, but I want you to also interview this one or these two people that I found. I specifically chose for you. Let me tell you the difference between you finding 3 people and me finding 1 or 2 people for you. Okay, listen. I don't know anything about finance. I don't know anything about the stock market. I don't watch it. I don't pay attention to it. I made a movie called The Wolf of Crypto where I created 3 crypto coins, and it's hilariously funny. Go check it in my movies and on YouTube. And that's all I know. I don't know anything else though. And so if I was to go and get into finance and go and buy stocks or invest in dividends or whatever, I'd be an idiot to just be doing it myself and be like, oh, I went and I got a Scottrade account because I heard that this stock is good. That's just moron. No, you go to somebody who does it every single day, in and out, right? Because that person you go to, when you give them $1,000 or whatever it is, they have an idea of what they can do in order for that money to grow. You're freaking grasping at straws. I got a Scottrade account. That would be me. Instead, what I do is I say, okay, I'm going to call my brother-in-law, for example, is a stockbroker. Hey, I got $1,000 I want to throw into the stock market. Here you go. And then he can go and let his mind take off, But the reality is, when you interview or call to interview a couple of agents, you're going to ask like a certain set of questions, like, oh, how much is the commission and how many homes have you sold and things like that. And those are the questions I would never ask. And that's the difference. I want you to ask those questions because you're going to get a feel out of those people. I'm going to ask the questions of my agents that I call because I'm going to find a couple of real freaking, gold nuggets for you to consider. The thing is, you don't have to use them. If you do, though, they, when they sell your house or help you find a piece of real estate, would send me a small piece of commission. It's called a referral fee. We do it all the time in real estate. And that's the same thing. If someone sent me a piece of business, I would be sending them a referral. And we all do it and we love it because it's business we never had before. So just keep that in mind. I'm here to help. Look at this freaking guy. I'm doing this in front of this poopy pants right behind me. He's like, look, guys, I got to go and change my diaper. We know. 437 billion. I don't know what to say about these people. I really wanted somebody to tell me, oh, look, Biden also stressed the Inflation Reduction Act, consistent with his campaign promise, will not raise taxes on any American making less than $400,000. Biden is in a swipe at Republicans, said Democrats sided with the American people, and every single Republican in Congress sided with the special interest in this. Every single one. Woo, sleepy poo. This is why I got to know what's in that freaking, bill. Does anybody want to tell me? It's all a big distraction, Jim says, my brother. Oh, goodness. Many are retiring. That's true. But we do know that Liz Cheney lost. Outright lost. She's not retiring. A lot of people are retiring. But I think they're retiring because they know the wrath that they're facing. They'd rather not deal with that, embarrassment. They just say, look, oh, we retired, and that's why that other person won. But if they lost like Liz Cheney, then they'd have that stupid face she had. And that's just the reality of it, Sleepy poo. President Biden forgives nearly $4 billion in student debt. What's next? President Joe Biden wiped $3.9 billion of student loan records. Yeah. More than 200,000 former students who still owe on the federal student loan from their time at ITT Technical Institute will see their loan balances cleared. Yeah. Whether they've applied for forgiveness or not. Yeah, Frau. Yeah. So basically, ITT Tech. What the frick is that? What? So they picked ITT Tech, of all things, okay? For people who can have their loans completely wiped away. ITT Tech, some random thing, right? They closed their campuses in 2016. After years of questioning and scrutiny of its accreditation standards and recruiting processes. At the time, the institution had about 45,000 students across 130 campuses. Some of the former students were already eligible for federal student loans forgivenesses, but this move applies to all borrowers who took a debt attending the school between 2005 and 16, when the school closed. Why? This brings the total amount of loan discharges under Biden to nearly $32 billion and leaves many wondering what more could be forgiven, or at least payments will remain on pause. This is freaking nuts. After mortgages, student loans make up the biggest chunk of household debt at more than $1.5 trillion, according to Brookings Institution. At the start of the pandemic, the government froze student loan repayments for most borrowers. In April, the White House extended the moratorium to the sixth time through August 30th through to 31st. This pause will help 41 million people keep up their monthly bills and meet their basic needs, chuckled Vice President Kamala Harris. And it will give borrowers some urgently needed time to prepare for a return to repayment. A letter addressed to Biden and Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona and signed by more than 100 lawmakers highlighted those positive effects of the freeze. For the first time, many borrowers have had the opportunity to pay down debt, open a savings account, purchase a home, save for retirement, none of which would have been possible without the payment pause. I don't know, guys. Like, you have to question, what about the people who went, to school, paid their loans, and the ones that don't get their loans covered? Like, it's a weird thing. How do you say that you're going to do it for X amount of people or for just this one college? I don't know. I think it's a dangerous game that these people are playing. It's like literally the Twilight Zone we're living in, right? Seems like to me, at least. We are in the Twilight Zone. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I have something here. First of all, how long are we on? This has been a long show. Another hour and 30 freaking minute show. Every time I'm like, okay, we're just going to do 30 and get it in and out. We freaking do it, like an hour and a half. Gosh almighty, I'm out of my mind. I just have too much fun here. What are we talking about? All right, let me see if I could very quickly, just play you one piece of music. Because we're talking about the world's gone crazy. It really has. This world is nuts right now. And let's see, when did I drop World's Gone Crazy? Like 150 clips ago. More. Jeez. I'm into it now. 160? 70. Wow. I didn't feel like I dropped it that long ago. Here we go. It was about 185 clips ago. All right, check this out.
Show Rotella with advanced
All right, Rotella. I'm going to give you guys the link here. And make sure you give that a like and a share. I want you to pay attention to the first line of the second verse, okay? I'll sing it along with you in the background. It's one of the best lines in history. Everything happens here in the moment, so there's no script.
The realm has enjoyed it.
I didn't know what I was going to write when I wrote this. It just happens live in the moment. We loop it all.
Win at work by communicating effectively. With Grammarly, meet Ty. He is
The parade is over, yeah. Everyone retiring, going home before midnight, yeah. Oh, I can't find a smile anywhere. Everywhere I look, I swear it's only hatred and division. Anywhere I'm speaking, yeah, I'm only getting it from you. And I've been feeling down on myself when I'm in the room with you. And I'm hoping you got a space in your heart, but you don't seem to have any kindness left. Yeah, you just left it at the door and you didn't look back. You can get away. It's like the world's gone crazy. You can get away. It's like the world's gone crazy. Up is down, yeah, left is right. Yeah, bizarre world every night. Oh, and I don't know if I can ever come back to center. Yeah, 'cause it's like it's a relentless event over and over again. Yeah, and I'm stuck in the tailwind. And I spend, yeah, I can't ever get out of it. No, you can get away. It's like the world's gone crazy. You can get away. It's like the world's gone crazy. Swear it. Let yourself feel everything that's happening to you. It's like the world's gone crazy. You can get away. It's like the world's gone crazy. Birds of a feather. Don't forget about that, guys.
Welcome.
Don't forget about birds of a feather. Stick together, yeah. Positivity, yeah. It's got to be the North Star. Oh, yeah. My brother Tristan. Thank you so much, pal. We got a lot of crazy licks. I mean, it's like I was just showing you guys the other day the there's the song that's had like 27 views. It's nuts. And it's like Funkadelic Truth Serum. Woo-wee! Funkadelic Truth Serum. That's not on an album yet. That's, I think, going on this next album. But dude, that song has got some fire to it as well. I mean, the thing is, I really hope you guys will just go on to Spotify. If you don't want to buy an album, which you don't have to, you can though. They're all on my website. I actually print out CDs and sign them. If you ever wanted to actually listen to a CD, I make them for each album. There's 14 albums and new albums coming out. Hopefully this next week, which is going to have that song on it that you just heard. And I think I'm going to try something here on iTunes or on TikTok I've never done before. It's tougher to do this on YouTube, or maybe it's not. Maybe I should do it on YouTube and just broadcast it over onto TikTok. But I thought what I'd do is, I've seen people do this with like baseball cards and with different things where they're opening up packs and then they're like taking orders and then sending things like cards out to people. And I was like trying to figure out how that process could work with songs. You know, I thought maybe what we'd do is a live DJ replay of all of my music. We got 183 songs. And what we'll do is I'm going to play songs, and if someone is inspired enough that they want a CD, for example, they can create their own like custom CD of the songs they're listening to that they like. Hey, I liked that one you played. Can you put that one on? I take email or I take home addresses and Venmo. You guys Venmo over a payment, and I make a CD and send it out to you. And that would be a new thing. The other thing could be I want to have one single, and I'd like you to send me the song, and just so I could throw it right on my iPad, on my iPod, whatever, on my phone to listen to when I drive. And something that's not currently out or even is, because I sell my songs obviously on iTunes and all those other things. But I do think they take a lot. So if we did something like this, and for example, I played that song and 10 people were like, hey, I want to buy that song from you for $1. You know what I mean? Okay, here's my Venmo, and I'll send that song to you by email. You know what I mean? And then people who are feeling generous and say, hey, this guy's writing songs and sending them out. Here's $5, whatever. You know, that's, you guys donate when you do that anyway. But the point would be, we come up with a concept to sell some of these songs to people, because there's cool songs that I haven't made any money for. And like I said, the concept I have to start thinking about is, how do I tie this show into a sponsor, into something that's repetitive each month? Because I can't do what I've been doing for 3 years here. There's no way to continue the way I've done it for 3 years. The word insane will start to be thought of. You know, nobody does something without getting paid for 3 years. You know, nobody does this. It's stupid. You got to focus on things that make you money. And so I'm forced with a dilemma in my life right now, where it's like, I got to either spend more time on the thing that makes me money, which is real estate, and spend all my time on it, and then just take whatever time is left and do what we can do. Or I do have to figure this other thing out. I have to figure out, hey, it's Bill's friggin' dryers, and he gets the best dryer. He's going to put it in. And when he turns it on, it doesn't make a lot of noise. And it's fragrance. You just put it in the top. It just shoots a little spray in there every time. Only Bill offers that one. Remember, tell him the Renaissance Man sent you. And like every day, until I got one of those things going, I'm going to have to friggin' dial down the Renaissance Man show. And the hour-and-a-half shows can't exist. I mean, it's at 12:45 right now. And this is the way my mind has to work. I could have spent an hour and a half finding 15 phone calls to make tomorrow for new potential sellers, maybe a buyer. When I put my mind into my real estate business fully, and all I'm doing is like the way I'm focused in on bringing content. But if all I did was dial in on phone calls and knocking on doors and showing up and fighting for opportunities like I did before the pandemic, I feel so good about what I do that I don't think I would have. I think what would be hard is getting the steamrolling process to start. But getting in the door is what and sitting down is all I want. Nothing in life is ever guaranteed. I don't want someone saying, hey, I got a listing for you. No. I want to sit down with those people and share what I can do. And if they like what I have to say, and they like me, and they like the conversation we have, and that we relate to each other, then I get the opportunity to represent them. But that's the reality is, there are hobbies in life and there are realities that you have to focus in on. And you have to start to weigh and start to say to yourself, okay, you know, there's this old saying, like, first they laugh at you, then they laugh, you know, with you or something like that. And then eventually, like, it's something weird, some weird saying. And it's like, I've been at the first they laugh at you segment for like freaking 3 years. It's crazy. And I just keep showing up. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I could probably, Yardbirds, I actually have a cassette. I think I have a cassette. I know I have a cassette dual deck. I used to make tapes as well. If you have a cassette player still, Yardbirds, and that's how you'd like to listen to it, I can transfer. I'm pretty certain I could transfer everything from. Yeah, I could transfer everything from the computer into the tape and put it onto tape for you, and make tapes. That'd be pretty cool, actually, too. You know, maybe I should offer CDs or tapes, and it'll be old school, where it's like freaking take out the little Sharpie, and assign those tapes too. I don't know if I think I could pretty much make the print pages to put them for the tape holders as well. That's just a template. So, yeah, if you're serious about that, Yardbirds, I think I could do that for you. I haven't looked in a while, but I'm pretty sure I have got that back there still. I know I have it back there. I'm just trying to remember what the back looks like. I think it's RCAs. So I have to take digital to RCA, which I think I could do. I don't think that's... I used to have that cable. I just don't know where it is. It's funny when you stop doing things. Like I had a mini disc player. You guys remember mini discs? I've got a box full of maybe 500 to 700 mini discs of every performance I ever put on. Every bar, every venue, every band performance, every coffee shop, every, duo thing I did with this guy Gabe up in Massachusetts. I got it all. And there's some gems and there's a lot of probably crap. I don't know. But he still owns a Walkman. That's so funny. Yardbird says he was joking. Yeah, I think that you have a tape player in your car still, S-Coop? That is awesome. I think the tapes... It's funny. So I remember when I first started, it's like a graduation thing here in music. So the first thing I had was tape. So I had this dual tape deck. It's the first thing I bought. And I was taking these live recordings that I do on this little mini disc player with a microphone at a Starbucks. And then I'd take the mini disc and I'd go from mini disc down to tape so I could listen to it in my car. Because at the time all I had was tape. And so I'd take everything I ever recorded, put it onto tape. And so I've got all these tapes as well. And then we upgrade to computers. And then I was like, from there, all that other stuff's just sitting in the back. I don't really do anything with it. It's just like, now it's just really memorabilia and gear you put on the wall, Everything went digital. And after that, it's like, what the frig is the point of carrying all that other stuff? You still have a brick phone. You're hilarious. You know what's funny? That's so mini tapes, like old answering machine tapes. You know what's funny is if you put it on those, you've reached the Renaissance Man. Oh, goodness, that would be pretty funny. Ah, guys. Did we do it again? 1,324 days in a row of the Renaissance Man show. Oh, yes, Hammerlin and Joanne. Yes. Hammerlin is definitely somebody unique. We could do Hammerlin. That's the other thing. It's like, okay, we could do this music thing, but we could also do the same concept where I could, in the moment, create voicemails for people. They send a Venmo over, and I do a voicemail for them specifically. Hey, what's your name? Or I want to do one for my friend, Barry. Okay, we do one for Barry. Who do you want it to be? And we do an impression. We do the whole thing live in the moment, like a cameo style thing. And then I could clip it and send it out to you, And that's something that we've done a few times. I should find it. I did a Donald Trump impression, face swap for somebody who paid for like a cameo style thing on my old website. I don't have the option up there now, right? But I'm thinking we'll try this live. Maybe tomorrow we'll do something different. I'll create a backdrop for it where it says something, order a song, or if you like this song, Venmo X and send me a note. Let me know in the chat that you just donated, and I'll send off the song to you so you can listen to it right now. And because the other thing is like going over and dealing with iTunes, putting your credit card stuff like all that. I'm not sure how that works, but I think you just do a quick Venmo, and people have their Venmo. They just type in an email address and they're rocking. So I'm going to work that out, because if we could figure out a way to use TikTok in a positive way to get these songs into people's hands, and in turn kind of start to connect that dot that I'm missing on how to take this content and get sponsors to want to be a part of the content and be a part of the improvisation, and have a show that every single day of the year promotes them. So let's see if we can work that out. If you guys have any suggestions, shoot them to me. My email is mp@markpires.com. And remember, we do this every single day forever. So make sure you follow. If you haven't, make sure you share. Until tomorrow, Jeffrey Flissick, Kathleen Danford, Jacqueline Grace S. Coop, Tristan Green, my brother. We're going to jam out one of these days, Tristan. We're going to do it. Virgo Psych, Yardbirds over here on the talk. We still got Conservative Being Rock. Thank you for kicking it with me. Sean B. and Miss Cloud, you guys are amazing. And if you're out there and I didn't get to say hi to you, which I think somebody else just popped in, Dick Welsh, how are you? Thank you so much for kicking it with me. Remember, mucho mas. You look so much like John Hamm, Pam Fortune said. It's so funny, John Hamm. John Hamm is a funny guy. John Hamm does one character. John Hamm. Right? Anyway, come back tomorrow. I'll do a John Hamm impression for you. Just kidding. Not kidding. I will. Seriously, I'm going to watch him and then do it tomorrow. I think you need a cigarette with him, though. It's like, he's like a freaking cigarette smoker. Oh, goodness. You guys, real quick. I saw my doppelganger once, all right? I'm in Florida. I go down to see my in-laws, and my kid's in the pool in this little mini children's baby pool thing, little 2-foot pool that we all sit in with our kids. And I'm looking across the freaking pool, right? And I see me. Guys, I freaking saw me across the pool. I'm not even joking. This was the same exact physique. This guy had my nose. You see, I got a nose. I got a freaking nose. You see that? And I see he got my nose, right? And he's there across the pool doing it. And he's looking at me as well. We're both kind of like, and I'm doing one of these. I'm getting close. I'm like, but from the little mini pool, he's in the big pool, and I'm like rubbing my eyes. I'm like, is that like my twin brother? Like, what the? And my wife goes, that's like you right there. That is your doppelganger. And my in-laws happen to be, my mother-in-law is German. So she's like, oh, that's your doppelganger, It's a German word. And so I'm like, I don't know why I'm such an a-hole for this, but I was like, oh, I'll see him next year. Because I knew I'd be going every year to see my in-laws. I was like, oh, I'll see him next year. He's probably visiting his family, and I'll see him next year. Never saw the guy again. But I swear in my life, that guy was me. I should have walked right up to him in the pool. She's been like, son, I'll be back. I'm going to see what that dude's deal is. Where were you born? Do you know my mom? What are we talking about over here? You know what I mean? And then we have a conversation about it, fisticuff style, Manos de Piedros. If you didn't watch Weekend at Bernie's, you wouldn't get that joke. That's why it's so crazy. I haven't watched movies in years. I haven't watched TV in freaking 4 years. And I still have these visuals of movies that pop in my head, and I can just pop out the impression of that moment. Peter, what's happening? We're going to need that TPS report. Not now, Lumberg. Anyway, listen, guys, tomorrow. Oh, we do it again. Make sure if you see your doppelganger, you go speak to that guy or that gal, all right? Don't walk past him and be like, I'll see him next year. Dummy I am, right? Never saw him again. That was 12 years ago. You got to go away. Oh, my goodness, guys. I will see you tomorrow, so make sure you join 10:30, dropping comedy news and straight up breaking news for you all day during the day. So if you haven't subscribed to TikTok, You see that freaking QR code in the corner? You take your freaking phone after. YouTube it. I'm going to take a video. Oh, look, what's that link tree? Oh, every single thing that has to do with the Renaissance Man show? Thank you, Mark, for putting the QR code on the screen. You're welcome. You know, that's the only thing I can do to help is to give you the opportunity to tune in and get all the information you need, like the songs and the movies. They're all there. Everything's there, clipped out for you. And Joanne, there's a clip of Joanne wheezing as well, if you guys really want to hear it. I know if I put the mic and I just turn on the music, that's all you're going to hear, but we'll do it tomorrow. Anyway, fam and friends, Jeffrey, Kathleen, Jacqueline, S-Coop, Special Needs Christian Rapper, you rock. We're not lying about Trump. And in what way, I would ask. Tristan Green, my brother, Virgo Psych, Yardbirds, and again over here on TikTok, Conservative Bean, you rock, Sean B, Miss Cloud, and the Deplorables. Another side note, I created a t-shirt back in 2020, guys, that was hilarious, and it was called E Deplorable Unum, and it was a picture of Trump on a gold coin, and it said, "In Trump we trust," and in the back, it was basically, I think that was it, but the idea of Trump's face sideways on a coin, and they made this already anyway, but it said, E Deplorable Unum, because of what Hillary Clinton had said in 2016. And I made one t-shirt for myself. So we'll see. So, yeah, you see over here, I've got a freaking, mugs. You can get a mug as well. But I do have a mug with the Trumper shirt. I can show that to you tomorrow. I guess you're older. I see this. I know you all. Special needs. You clearly are, buddy. You actually tuned into a Patriot show and you're so off base. Go over and check out on my playlist, buddy. Go to check out the Donald Trump show. 36 episodes of truth. Truth. Satire died in 2019, my friend. I found every single thing bad that Mr. Sleep Sofa Joe Biden did, and they're all there. And Yardbirds knows. So, in fact, I'll give you guys the playlist real quick so you can go and check it out. But it's funny. It's actually, I don't think I've heard that in a while. I've written how many songs about the freaking crazy left. And then, again, I'm the creator of the Donald Trump show and also the Sleep Sofa Joe show. But this one is much better. Let's see. Here we go. This is the playlist here for the entire Donald Trump show. Yeah. Buddy, by the way, I didn't mean any offense by that. I love you. Thank you so much for coming here and being with us tonight. Just so you know exactly what this show is, because you clearly came over to explore. This is the longest running daily show on Earth. I've shown up every day for 3+ years because the world is dying, because the liberal world is trying to destroy the world, and I refuse to allow that to take place. So I provide this opportunity to create in the moment with you and to step away from the negativity for a little while, every day. And my Trump impression, I think, is goofy, but I think it's pretty good. My Biden impression is goofy. I think that one's pretty good too. The face swaps are crazy fun. You should go check them out. I think you'll get a laugh. But just so you know, we're on a dire course right now. And this man and woman that are running this country need to be freaking stopped. I tried my best by creating what you're hopefully going to go check out, the Donald Trump show. But they didn't let anybody see him. That's the saddest thing. Like, if I show you right now, I just want to show you. If I go to episode, let's call it episode 3, which is Nancy Pelosi, okay?
Fred,
we're going to play this one real quick, okay? Because I want you guys to see. I want, especially our Christian rapper friend here, I want you to see something, buddy. Check this out. Ready? This right here is why I've been suppressed for 3+ years.
My Blake dining set, table and 6 chairs, or table 4.
And then I want you to say you're sorry after, brother.
It's Haverl and Jameson, Donald J. Trump back with episode 3 of The Trump Show.
I want to thank you for joining me on episode 3 of The Donald J. Trump Show. Today, we talk about Polio. That's right. Don't drink the poison. It's going to kill many people more than coronavirus. Yeah, poison. That's right. Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, I'm sorry. Some people don't know that we do call her poison. Let's take a look at this clip here. I want you to hear what she has to say.
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear.
Let's be honest, Nancy, you know nothing about politics. And wrap-up smear? Really? That's what you've been doing to me? Sounds like something you got from your OBGYN. But whatever.
You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it.
I'm sorry, Nancy, can you say that one more time? What was that?
You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it.
Look, she's creating fake news. She told the reporters, you create a story. Let's get back to this clip.
And then you write it.
Can you freaking believe this?
Unless they see it's reported in the press that this, and this, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear.
You write the story after we report the falsehoods, and it becomes a validated story by the news, by you, the fake news garbage.
It's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report.
Also, when she says merchandising it, who is she, Mel Brooks from Spaceballs? Spaceballs the flamethrower. Yeah, okay, poison, whatever.
Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic. And it's self-evident.
You see there, she says it's self-evident because we've been doing it to Trump since he came down the escalator. Well, I have to tell you that I'm happy that I found out about this poison. Now I could put all of my efforts towards taking you down to Chinatown. That's right. We will drain Poison and Schumer from the swamp.
Oh, goodness. So basically, there you go, our friend over here, Christian rapper brother. I hope that at least explains our side of things. Nancy Pelosi. I've created so many different nicknames for these freaking hooligans. Nancy Pelosi is Nancy Pelosi because everything she touches turns to poison. President Xi is President She-Hole. He's a friggin' G-hole, right? And then, of course, you got Cuomo. When you had the Cuomo deal, they were like, yay, we're going to have him be president. He's like, Cuomo over? Really? You going to have Cuomo over in? I'm sorry. That one doesn't work for me. You know? Yeah, we could come up with names like Sleep Sofa Joe, Bumbling Biden, Joey Futon, you know? Just because he's just about to open up his, you know, Sleep Sofa Joe's Futon and Sleep Sofa Emporium in Delaware. That was where he was going with it. And then he's like, I won 81 million votes. My Aunt Judy told me. Aunt Judy. That was before he pooped his triple diaper. Guys, remember, that's a daily thing. You know, he's got a sponsorship though with Huggies. Huggies is sending him packages of freaking triple diapers. It's a new thing they're just coming out with. It's a geriatric edition for Joe and he poopy pants, and he's there. What? I got a stinky do. He's got a stinky do in his hiney butt. You know, with Heine freaking Reamers. If you guys remember Heine Reamers from earlier on in the show. That's a callback right there. Guys, this show's about callbacks. Sometimes you're here, and then you got a freaking Joe Sleepy Poopy Pants with his triple diaper on, and you got Heine Reamers coming around the corner. You know what I mean? She's looking for an extra freaking diaper for the Heine Reamer, you know, because that guy is doing it. I still can't believe he's on the loose right now, Heine Reamer. Like, oh, I thought we had the police were cornering him. In Delaware. Some people call him Pedo Peter. Good old Heine Reamer. Joe Sleepy Poopy Pants. Oh, goodness. That's why I love the live comedy improv that takes place in this show. Only when we have a new story like Heine Reamers and Joe Biden show up in the same, you know, conversation. And then also, you know, Pedo Peter. All that stuff. Circle. Full circle. Yes, I do, Daddy-O. I do. When everybody goes to sleep, I go live. And that's been for 3 years. And not every day is late Some days I try to go on earlier, but most days it's late. And one day, perhaps it'll be early, like early, and actually be what we intended, which is 30 minutes. Sometimes we get into it here. Anyway, fam, friends, remember John Fulmer's in the house now. Flissick, my buddy, Kathleen, S. Coop, special needs Christian rapper. Thank you for kicking it and at least taking a watch at one of these Donald Trump shows I did. Double-Edged Sword, so good to see you. Virgo Psych, Yardbirds, and anybody else that may be out there. Over here on TikTok again one more time. Conservative, my friend. Hold on. Tomorrow I'll have tons of content for you. Sean B, Miss Cloud, and Barry O'Neill. Good to see you all tomorrow. We do it all over again. Until then, it's Mark Pires. And it's Renaissance Man. I love you guys. See you tomorrow. You got to go away. Yeah. You got to go away. See you tomorrow, fam.